I really hate this level so much. Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Duffy Duck here once again, and I'm back for some more of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Sonic Spinball for the Sega Mega Drive / Sega Genesis for North America. So last time we got to explore the machine, and today for this video, folks, is the fact that we're going to be moving on to the final level in a game called the Showdown. Now, this is by far one of the most difficult levels in the entire game, and even the most difficult final levels in any Genesis Mega Drive Sonic games I've recently played through. Unlike how it does in Scrap Brain Zone, I managed to breeze through that stage no problem, and especially noticeable, I managed to did have some trouble in Sonic the Hedgehog 2's Death Egg Zone, and especially noticeable in Metallic Madness zone from Sonic CD. I don't have any issues with that. And even a Death Egg zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, and Launch Base from the original Sonic 3, and even Sonic 3D Flicky's Island, I had no issues with that during the likes of Panic Puppets, despite the fact that it's usually Gene Gadget's Part 2, except, well, a little bit shorter by the looks of it though, and in Act 2, it's just simply point A to point B type of gimmick rather than collecting a lot of flickies. This is by far the most pitiful of any final levels in any Mega Drive Sonic games I've recently played through, because, as you can tell right there, that, in order to actually get one of those Chaos Emeralds, where there's only, like, 2 Chaos Emeralds, requires you to be able to access to this little trigger buttons. And then, the other 3, it might be self-explanatory here, but, at the same time, you can get a lot of wasted opportunities, or wasting your time on this particular level, and not to mention, if you want to really desperately want to able to get the last few Chaos Emeralds, you're gonna have to figure out which of these routes you want to take. So even then though that, take this part for example, I need to able to actually go all the way to the right, but sometimes the pinball physics or pinball momentum stuff just sometimes doesn't want to let me to go all the way to the actual, all the way to the right syndrome, and at the same time though, that sometimes it'll lead me to fall down to the lava, just like Lava Powerhouse, and at the same time I always get knocked out by this little, ouch syndrome when you try to hit these little stealing, blocks and all that stuff, because yeah, you need to actually activate, that switch 4 times in the first Chaos Emerald, and believe me, this is not as easy as it sounds to able to actually obtain that emerald. So, of course we can't get that emerald because we need to get into the other side, so of course we'll actually go to this side first because that's the first Chaos Emerald we're about to getting. Now, believe me what we're going to be saying for this, right? We are about to be doing the save state system in this particular level because, oh my god, that level's easily the most frustrating level I've ever experienced in a Sonic game. Well, I've heard from a lot of people seem to have a lot of trouble with this level, probably due to how frustrating it is. So, but even then though, let's go say that much about this right about now, but even then though, that, yeah, that's what I could say about the Showdown. So, but even then, luckily though, the other 2 emeralds are pretty self-explanatory to get, besides they're on the far right and the far left of the actual stage, but even then though, you'll see why when we're about to get to them, so. Anyways, today, folks, is the informs of the 31st of December 2017, so you know what that means, folks? This is the final day of 2017. Now, I should probably discuss about the overall of, the 2017 has to offer, though. Like, for instance, 2017 this is the best year I've ever encountered in my entire life. It's not just because of how the fact that there's gonna be bringing up some really awesome games out there, but also some really good movies out there, well, one exception mind you, and pretty much everything else in this particular year feels great. So, even then though, like for instance, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild has been a massive success for a Nintendo Switch launch title, as a matter of fact, and even then though, it also came out on the Wii U, but normally people always go for the Nintendo Switch version just because of how the fact that, you know, you can play it on the go. This time around though, as opposed to like turn the game off and off all the time, because despite the lack of length or depth to the Wii U gamepad, for the signal issues and all that stuff, to try to able to actually get further away from the console. Well, thankfully though, the Nintendo Switch fixes that issue, so even then, yeah. And also that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild got the the Game of the Awards edition during the likes of when the Game Awards 2017 has been awarded, which is Zelda Breath of the Wild. But even then though, I still consider the fact that between The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, those both titles are the best games we've ever got to be releasing this year. So even then, I'm really happy about this now. And especially noticeable with this really awesome surprise, which is the crossover between Mario and Rabbids, which reforms of Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle for Nintendo Switch. Which, you know, in Japan, they have to wait until you know, next month or so. So even then, though, they can now finally experience Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle during in that country. So, I thought it's worth mentioning for this part. So I do apologize if I had myself a little bit of a something stuck in my throat. It's probably because of how, you know how commentaries are for the most part sometimes. Whenever you're trying to talk too fast, sometimes I always get something stuck into my throat, which even then, that can get really disgusting sometimes. So, anywho though, and as far as others, like for instance Mario Party, the top 100, well, I'm pretty much being really excited for the actual concepts, like the reimagining versions of the old school Mario Party titles, but not on the Switch on the other hand, but on the 3DS, which I think that's the only downside I can think of. But even then, that's all I can really tell for this part and onwards though. So, but even then though, Jump Up Superstar, which is actually probably is my favorite music in the actual year so far, which is pretty cool actually, amongst that with CS Rainbow from the likes of My Little Pony the movie. Speaking of such, as for movies department, I've seen some of the movies during the likes of 2017 so far, which consist of, the first one I saw is the Lego Batman movie. It was alright, but not as good as the original. And, well, it's still pretty awesome even to this day, but way better than the likes like, the Lego Ninjago movie. Well, I found that to be kind of like a Star Wars clone to me for the likes of the actual story in the Lego Ninjago movie or something like that. But, basically, that's all I can gather. So, and the next film I saw is Beauty and the Beast 2017 version. It was really amazing. And especially Despicable Me 3, even though it's pretty good, but I won't say it's like the greatest films compared to the second film in the series, but even then though, I have to take a death here. Oh well, there goes the second loser life, so I'll probably have to jump cut here. Anyway, the next film I saw is the films of Cars 3. That would actually be one of the better Cars films in the entire trilogy in my opinion. Certainly way better than Cars 2 for sure. And the first film was alright. I mean, sure, the story wasn't exactly too deep by any means. But I think the third film is easily one of the best in the entire trilogy in my opinion. And after that, ugh. There's one major gripe I have with this year, and that was the films of the Emoji Movie. I found that film really lackluster and disappointing. And even then though, that you guys should probably can tell already, like we've already mentioned about this a couple of times. And you know, that's what I can really gather about saying for that film, right? But, luckily, since during the likes of the 20th, or in this case 20th of October this year, luckily though, the My Little Pony the movie, which is another film I saw, thankfully though, it doesn't disappoint me. So even then though, that, well, I'm actually really surprised about the fact that I was so looking forward to that film, because not only am I a brony still, but also welcome back to the 2D animators ever since almost 6 years since Winnie the Pooh. I probably won't count for SpongeBob Out of Water, honestly, because, well, half the segments are in 2D, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the times it's just, once again, 3D CGI, so even then though, that, it's something like a mixture of those particular two different art styles between, you know, those films and all that stuff. But even then though, I would say right about now, My Little Pony the movie 2017 version will probably have to be one of the films of the year in my opinion, just because of welcome back to the animators, and especially noticeable for during the likes of, I was a huge fan of the actual Friendship is Magic show, because you know, I'm a brony still, for almost about, I would say for 5 years now, since 2012, jeez, that's so long. But even then, that's as far as I can really just try to say about this at this point, so you know. And after that, I saw Paddington 2, which is really good actually. Certainly a lot more intense than the likes like the first film that it usually handles in. Oh yeah, now I've got myself all the chaos emeralds now, so now let's go ahead and reach up to the actual ship itself, because you know, much like the Game Gear version of Sonic Spinball, we're gonna have to reach up to the higher in the skies before we're able to deal with Dr. Robotnik one last time. So even then, yeah. So anyway, I've saw Paddington 2, and I think it's actually really enjoyable. And the final film I've saw this year was the films of Star Wars The Last Jedi. And once again, much like it does in episode 7, it was such an enjoyable film in my opinion. I mean, sure it's a recycled film compared to how it does it in the 5th episode, but I don't mind too much because even then though, it still looks really tense even to this day. So even then though, I should probably go explain for my top 5 of one of the most enjoyable films I've seen. Number 5 goes to, I would say Cars 3. And number 4 goes to Star Wars The Last Jedi. Number 3 goes to Paddington 2. Number 2 goes to Beauty and the Beast 2017 version. And my number 1 favorite film of the year will probably be My Little Pony the movie, just because of due to 2D animators now welcome back. And also I'm still in the brony even ever since 5 years. So there you go then. And as far as the future plannings on the next year, which is 2018, we decided to actually just to spoil for you guys for something, before you're able to deal with, first off, we're gonna have to discuss upon the final boss in Sonic Spinball. As you can see, we actually board on Robotnik's ship. Now, this particular boss is probably the most difficult fight in the entire game. Excuse me. Basically, that we're gonna have to we need to constantly hit the switch underneath it. Because of that, though, he constantly got himself his claw machines here, and especially noticeable with this little, counterpult sock. And even, every time you press the button, sometimes it'll give rid of one of these contraptions. Even then, though, that way it'll deals out technically an obstacle, disappearing. But even then, that's what I can really try to say about this for this boss. Oh, by the way, as you can see right there, I managed to get launched by this little counterpult sock. Be careful of those little smashing windows, by the way, because if you smash any of those windows like 3 times, if you remember if you ever played baseball, think of like baseball, but except the fact that we're actually on Robotnik's ship. And basically, that every time you smash one of those, any of these windows, if you smash about 3 times, then you instantly get fluked out. So even though this is by far the most difficult fight in the game because of how this happens. So, now unlike the Game Gear version, when it comes to getting the Chaos Emeralds, basically you're gonna have to simply just bust out these gates, no problem. But except one, mind you, and that's the forms of the next emerald. But even then, that's why I can really tell the difference between these 2 versions. So, apart from that though, after you get rid of those contraptions, it's your chance to able to actually smash his, glass dome about 10 times, and if you do that, then the boss fight will be victorious. So, even that's all I can say about this here. So, hopefully we can able to finish him off, like, say, 2 more hits left, and I believe 1 more hit shall do. Come on, let's see if I can just beat this game until I'm able to actually move on to 2018. For the likes of Sonic Unleashed for the Xbox 360 version, and especially Sonic Forces. Boom! There we go! Totally Dr. Robotnik bonus added. So there we go, folks. That concludes Sonic Spinball for the Sega Mega Drive. Thank God I've now finally accomplished this game. So even then though, jeez, that is super hard. Even then though, it takes really long time to able to complete this level. So yeah, let's enjoy the ending to Sonic Spinball for the Sega Mega Drive / Sega Genesis if you guys lived in North America. So anyways, enjoy the ending. And from here, Robotnik's blown up into smithereens. So, as you can see, I've got myself my high score right there. If you can tell for this little numbers, I'm assuming that this is where it's at. So, overall, Sonic Spinball for the Sega Mega Drive / Sega Genesis. This is probably still one of my least favorite of the Sonic Mega Drive games I've ever played. it's nothing wrong about it. I mean, the visuals do look very good, certainly a lot more better than the Game Gear counterparts, and the music is really good as well. Well, the only exception, mind you, is the forms of the credit sequence or the options menu, because it sounds, a little bit too cringing. And, apart from that, the controls might take a while to get used to, and also the difficulty is so ranked up compared to the Game Gear version. I think that's my only major gripe I have with the game. But even now, apart from that though, still looks a pretty decent title nonetheless. But not one of my favorite Sonic games I've recently played, but still, you can definitely recommend it for those of you who might have missed it. And that concludes all of the Let's Plays of 2017, and hope you guys enjoyed this Let's Play, and this is me, Duffy, from the likes of the Maxi Toys. And until then, I'll see you guys in the possibly the final video of 2017 later on, and that was the forms of the future plannings for 2018. So this is me, Duffy, and until then, I'll see you guys in the new year. So see you guys then. Ciao. Bye.